Hey Team Grimmie, Scott here. Welcome to my behind the scenes of the Christina Grimmie Foundation Banquet video. But before we get going, I want to introduce you to somebody. Just a second. I want you to meet Missy. Say hi to the folks, Missy. What's all this stuff with the lights, huh? Yeah. Want you to meet Missy. Yeah. One of two dogs we have. Dogs are wonderful. What are you moaning about? Okay, I'll let you go down. Let you get down. Say hi to the folks. Hi. Hi. Well, I'm back. That was Missy. Didn't get a chance to show you her brother Max. Maybe in another video. Well, this video is going to be a little long because there's a lot to tell you about, folks. My day started at 4 a.m. in the morning, actually before 4, when I woke up and headed out to the airport in Dallas to fly out to LA. Had to stop off in Salt Lake City first. Here's a little clip of that.
I called and away, went around and cried at the sound of my heart beating for someone that just doesn't pay attention anyway. And I smile when it hurts to take a breath that day when you held me.
Once I landed in LA, grabbed my rental car, headed to downtown to the Taglian Center where the event was to take place. Because if you've never been to LA, driving around LA is really hard, and finding a parking spot is even harder. So I like to plan things a little bit ahead and scout things out. So I went down there, and by chance I went down the side streets around it and found almost a hidden entrance to the underground parking garage for the facility. Had I waited till the following night, I never would have found that place. I never would have known. So it does pay off to plan and check things out ahead. The following morning, actually a little closer to noon, met up with my fellow administrators of the Team Grimmie fan page, Cooper Barham and Debbie Hall. And actually they were administrators long before I was, and they invited me on a couple months ago. So the Team Grimmie fan page is actually represented there that night by 3 generations. Cooper being the youngest, Debbie in the middle, and guess who's the oldest? Yeah, that would be me. And it's kind of interesting because we had 3 different perspectives, and that helps manage the page and everything. And so I met them for lunch. Show a couple pictures here. In this picture right here, we're outside checking our phones and everything, and I've put a little red box around something you might be interested in, and here's a close-up of it. Cooper has a 1P tattoo on the inside of his arm, and his brother has a 2P tattoo. I wonder where they got that idea. Maybe from Christina and Marcus. That was pretty neat. And you may have noticed another person there, Lucas. Debbie had brought Lucas for Cooper, and so Lucas decided to eat with us and hung out with us the rest of the day. And Cooper and Debbie stayed on, and he went sightseeing with them and did some other things. So Lucas had some fun too. Later that evening, we left, about 5 o'clock, a little bit before, because we planned to get there at 6 when the doors open. And according to Google, it's a 45-minute drive, and I allowed about 15 extra minutes of traffic. Wrong. Remember I mentioned traffic in LA? An hour and a half to get to the venue. So we got there, about 6:20, 6:25. And I pulled down into that little area that I saw where the parking garage was. And they had valet parking, so just pulled up, gave the guy the keys, he gave me a ticket, and we went on in. Valet parking was great, and let us know it was going to be a class evening all the way around. Well, after they took our car, we went to the check-in table. If you haven't been to a banquet before, there's usually a table where you check in, they make sure you're registered, and they give you your seat assignment. Well, I checked in, they had me registered, but they didn't have a seat assignment. Cooper and Debbie, they had table 14, so I was hoping I had table 14, and they told me, hey, go down to the end of the table, they'll have your seat assignment for your table assignment. So I went down there, and who did I find? Wesley Elder and Corey Vetter. Wesley, who co-starred in the Matchbreaker, Wesley and Corey were producers and writers on the thing and everything. And Wesley remembered me because I'd met him out at the premiere and everything, gave me a hug and gave me my seat assignment. And I came back a little later to take a picture. I said, "Smile." This is what he did. Hamming it up. But it was good to see him again. I talked to him later. The green carpet was in a courtyard area of the facility. Beautiful courtyard area with a fountain. Got some pictures of the fountain and a green area. And they didn't have a red carpet. Typically these things are done with the red carpet. They had a green carpet in honor of Christina. And so we got there right about the time, 6:30, when they started streaming live on Facebook. So the family started making their way down the line, and Tiffany Alvord did, and Johnathan and Steven and all kinds of folks were making it down the line, and we were watching. And while we were watching, Marcus spotted me, comes up, gives me a hug and everything, and we chatted just a couple seconds because he had to go through the line. And so here, let me show you a clip of the courtyard and the green carpet area. So that was the courtyard and everything. And I'm going to put below a link to the vid, the Facebook streaming vid. And also below I'm going to put links to some of the different stuff that happened tonight, some of the acts, some of the introductions, things like that are on Facebook. So I'll put those links down there too. And while I'm talking about links, you only have about a day left, because on the 6th, the auctions of some of Christina's items, one of her guitars, one of her jackets, and one of her other pianos, not Lucas, one of her other pianos, is up for auction. And I'll put the link down there in case you have some extra money and you want to bid on that and raise money for the foundation. That link will be right below. After they were done with the green carpet, they asked us all to come into the foyer outside of the ballroom, where we hung out for another 15-20 minutes. They had us hanging out there because that's where all the tables were for the silent auction items. And there was also, Pasquale had his shoes on display there, so if you wanted to place an order for shoes, you could do that too. And here's a clip of the foyer area. And that's one thing about all this. Whether anybody knew anybody else or not, we felt like one big family because we had the bond, we all bonded together over Christina and the foundation. While we're still out in the foyer, one of the biggest highlights of my night is Debbie and Cooper were talking to Tina Grimmie, Christina's mom, and they were chatting away, and I was taking some pictures and things, and then I just kind of stepped up a little bit back, and Tina saw me, and she goes, "Scott!" Like we're long lost friends, but I'd never met her before. She had been watching my videos, and that just warmed my heart, and we hugged and everything and chatted some, and that was really wonderful. And the Grimmies, they were all over the place talking to everybody. If you've ever been to one of those things, again, it's kind of scattered and you end up talking to somebody for a few seconds and they have to go off to talk to somebody else. But they're really busy, but she took the time out to talk to all of us about the fan page and about my videos and stuff. And that was really sweet, and I really appreciate it. And bless you, Tina. And Tina was full of energy and joy and looked fantastic in that flowing dress. And you may notice in some of the pictures and the videos that she's wearing a black hat, and she's got a headband on the outside of the hat. And somebody pointed out on Facebook that hairband was the same one Christina wore in quite a few of her videos. So Christina was represented there tonight. After a while, they opened up the doors to the ballroom and we all kind of filed in, and the place was gorgeous. I had seen some pictures of it where there were red lights and stuff. All the lights in there, the whole thing was bathed in green for Christina, and everything looked great. And I'll put some pictures in over here. But the napkins were green, the table displays were beautiful, and the ceiling was all green, and oh, it was just fantastic. And while everybody was milling and talking and finding their seats and chatting before the food arrived, and even while we ate, there was a slideshow of pictures of Christina going on. In one of the pictures you saw the program for the night, and that was explaining what was going on and who was getting the awards and who was singing and everything. And what I've done is I scanned my copy of the program in, and down below will be a link to a PDF of that so you can see the same program we had. Well, we sat down and chatted with some folks, and what was interesting, there were two mothers with their daughters there. Some mothers had taken the time, spent the money to bring their daughters there because their daughters had been fans of Christina and everything, and that was really sweet. Then I looked around and I looked at the table across the way, and Tiffany Alvord was there. And actually, Tiffany is the first singer I ever found on YouTube. About 5 years ago, there was a post of a song she sang with the piano guys, and through her, once I knew that there were some great singers there on YouTube, I started looking, and that's how I found Christina. And if you may remember that Christina did a duet with Tiffany. I think it was one of the first, if not the first, collaborations Christina had done. So Tiffany was one of her longest friends in the YouTube world. And also sitting at their table were Wesley and Corey, and I got to chat with them a little bit more, and hear about what they're trying to get done and some of the small projects they've worked on, and told them, if you ever need an older, sophisticated extra. And Wesley said, I actually thought of you, but it was too late by the time I thought of you for a small project we were doing. I'll keep you in mind. So yeah, I'll be a big star someday. Probably another back of the head and hand shot. Then they started bringing some food around. And this is where I made a mistake. They brought around some dishes of some little finger food type things, and got some pictures of it here. But I'm thinking, okay, LA, fancy, probably just little bits of food, and that's it for the night. So I took a little bit more than I normally do, thinking, okay, this will have to hold me the whole night, and ate that and finished that up. And a few minutes later, they came out with a salad. Then after that, some vegetables. And after that, some meat. And all this stuff, it was fantastic. And you've seen some of the pictures. So by the time it came to dessert, I was too full. I had pigged out apparently too much on the hors d'oeuvres. That wasn't the main meal, it was the hors d'oeuvres. But hey, I'm not that sophisticated, so I don't know how these things work all the time. Banquets I go to are here in Texas, and you know you're getting steak and or chicken or both. Yeah, so it was kind of funny. While we're at the end of our meal somewhere between 7:30 and 8, probably quarter till, Hunter March got up, and Hunter is from Awesomeness TV. He's an on-air personality and producer, and he was our master of ceremonies that night. And he did a great job. He was funny. And so he did an introduction and a little bit about the foundation and why we're there. And then he brought Bud up to introduce Christina's youth pastor. And if you watch the memorial service, it was that gentleman. And he talked a little bit about Christina, and then we had a prayer. And so here are a couple clips of that first segment.
Thank you so much for being here to help the Grimmie family launch the Christina Grimmie Foundation. Thank you, guys. My name is Hunter March. I'm honored to be here hosting this evening. Thank you guys for letting me do this. The foundation has asked me to start this off by thanking all the vendors and donors who are helping to make tonight possible. And I'm sure everyone's already had a chance to check out the incredible silent auction items that are available. Hopefully you guys have your eye on one of them, or two of them, or all of them. There's also a raffle tonight, so I want to start tonight off by giving away a couple raffle items. So I'd like to invite Christina's father, Bud Grimmie, on stage right now. first 2 tickets. If you guys have your tickets, pull them out. We have a lot of them.
And Christina touched so many people. We knew it, right, T? Because like Donna was here tonight. We knew that Christina was touching people with what she was doing. I think her voice got people's attention, but her person, she just made everybody feel special, right, Mark? How many times we talk about that? I mean, that's the same thing. Hearing was that she inspired them to be better people. How many times have you heard that? I couldn't even tell you. We've gotten letters, notes, posts, comments, literally thousands of them. I didn't really know Christina personally, but she changed my life. No, I met her once, twice. I'm a better person. I want to be better. It's just. So what I wanted to get at is, Christina made a difference in so many people's lives. That's what the foundation, that's what that heart is, making a difference. And we think we can do that by getting right to the families that need help. And that's what I wanted to say to you.
Hey guys, my name is Jason George, and I had the opportunity to be Christina Grimmie's youth pastor. And Bud is right. She had something extraordinary about her, the way she made other people feel. She made the world a better place. And last night I was able to actually look through her personal Bible, and I found a verse that she put right beside it and said, "This is my favorite verse." I just want to share it with you really quick. I'm not going to preach. None of us need that right now. It said, it was Jesus. And Jesus made this statement. He said, "Come to me, all you who are burdened, heavy laden, and I'll give you rest." And she said, "That's my favorite verse." And I thought that was really cool, because that's who she went to find her strength and her rest and to lay her burdens down. It was just really cool. So she was there for a lot of other people to bring them up, but that's who brought her up in the secret place when she was all alone.
After that, Tina got up to the stage, and she was so animated that night. And she was riding a roller coaster of emotions, as you'll see in the clips. But she was so animated and happy and seeing people, but still, there's the emotion there. She got up and introduced Rena, who's a singer who sang a song on one of the video games, one of the earlier video games Christina liked. And she tells a story about that and introduces Rena. Here are those clips.
This is Christina's mother, Tina Grimmie. We don't have to do it tonight. We will introduce somebody who will. But first, I actually didn't even mention this earlier, but it's now coming to me. Christina, when she came on to the show that I was doing, we had a big arcade system in the back. It was like thousands of games, and I tried having a conversation with her many times. I couldn't. There was a video game system back there with all the games she loved. And leads us perfectly into our next performer. As you guys know, she was a big fan of video games. So Tina, tell us what her favorite one was.
Well, I remember one. And what's special about that is she brought the little Game Boy. It's an older one. I'm not tech savvy. And the Fire Emblem's in there. But one day she called me and showed me that there's a beautiful song that this woman sings. And I was like, "Oh, that's beautiful, Christina," and one life went. It was beautiful. So when this was coming up, and we found out that Rena was so kind to want to sing this song for us here tonight, I was in the closet, and she still has video stuff all over, and I'm just winding up with wires and stuff. And I found this little blue Game Boy, and Fire Emblem was in it. And, it's just very special. Hard to stand up here. I just want to thank everybody for being here and Oh, God.
A familiar disguise. Sing with me a song about the right and love, like scatters to the sky above. Dawn breaks through the gloom, white as a bone, lost in thoughts.
Rena was really good, and I really enjoyed that. They then had Marcus come up, where he talked about the foundation and the purposes of it. And then he went off script here a little bit, and I want you to watch it.
I just want to bridge that gap because a lot of people have asked us questions like, gun violence and breast cancer, it's so strange. Well, I can share that I'm in a very, very unique position that me and Christina grew up our whole lives watching our mother fight with breast cancer, and she battles very, very, very strongly. She's one of the strongest people I know.
I love you, Marcus.
And we continue to fight alongside of her. And I think my Aunt Kathy shared, she is just newly diagnosed with breast cancer, and there is a need. It's someone I've known my whole life. It can happen to anyone, and it's just terrifying. And I know. What else? Continuing this unique part of the story is about over a year ago, I lost my sister in a terrible act of violence, and I also am a survivor of that. Gun violence is an epidemic in this country. There is a problem. But we're here to not worry about fixing that problem, but helping the families that need help. So doing that, there's a lot of people that I'm sorry, I just have to say too, it's like, this is very hard. You prepare so much, and I've been quite stoic throughout my time preparing, but every one of you that's here, people I know, people I don't know, you are here because Christina is not. And it's just really hard. Sometimes it's just very hard to comprehend, and it's extremely hard.
See where he went off script towards the end there? And that may have been the most poignant time of the night, at least for me, is when he said, "You are here," referring to everybody, because Christina isn't. That really touched a lot of people, let me tell you. And I've been so impressed with that young man over the past year and a half. I just don't have words for it. Bud and Tina, you scored 100% on both of your children. You should be proud of them.
Used to watch the news all the time. Sure, so many of you see it every day. You know, Vegas gets the attention too, and Orlando. But every day, you know, you just see the statistics pop up. I just read you a number. It's just a round number. I will never let Christina just be in that number. She's the monument, and we're going to make sure that we all love her. Without further ado, I would like to bring up my friend Chris Hayes and Patience Carter, a Pulse survivor, and they have a foundation in Philadelphia.
Chris Hayes and Patience Carter. Those two run a foundation similar to what the Grimmies are trying to do, and they've been working back and forth, helping them out. And they have interesting stories. Chris lost a loved one to gun violence, but Patience, that young lady there that you'll see in this clip, the night after Christina was killed, she was in the Pulse nightclub, and she had to hide out in the bathroom while everything was going on. But she was wounded, desperately wounded too. As a matter of fact, she could not walk for a number of months and had to go through a lot of rehabilitation, a lot of pain. And even while she went through all of that, her friend that went with her to the club last night did not survive. They were killed. And so the two of them put together a foundation and are now helping the Grimmies. Here's that clip.
We found survivors need an abundance of things: from physical care, mental health care, assistance with funeral expenses, all the way down to basic household needs. And sadly, that's just the start. The lives of individuals and their families affected by gun violence are forever changed and will never be the same. And sometimes even feel even difficult to find the will to go back to work. The Grimmie Foundation is truly blessed to have such an amazing and strong support system, which is proven by all you here today. And so thank you for that.
Address a lot of needs, just off from what we went over today, that and what our foundation's been going over in the last year of what families need. Because as many, and if not all of you know, that when that tragic day happened, we had overwhelming support from friends, family, fans. The GoFundMe was made. Adam Levine paid for our sister's funeral. We had just no more support. They were our crutch. We would have been crippled.
This next clip, Marcus introduces Pasquale Fabrizio, yeah, I had to look at the name down here to pronounce it right, and gave him the Trailblazer Award. As Marcus explains, Pasquale had never met Christina, but his heart just took over when he heard the story, and he's the one that designed the shoes that are now on sale to raise funds for the foundation. Here's that clip.
Hello again. Once again, thank you everybody for being here. It's extremely humbling. So, you know, I don't know if it's ever going to get a lot easier, but I just want to be amped. I want to be like, you know, you should see us in the meetings we have and just the plan we have, just like we're fired up. But it's just like, once again, seeing everyone's like, there's a reason that there are only seats because Christina's not here. So, you know, I want to bring that energy and I want to bring that fire. And it's really it's a good segue into the first award of the night, and it's a unique award. I stand here very honored to give Pasquale Fabrizio the Trailblazer Award. Pasquale, in the short time I've known you, you have been the most incredible, hardworking, passionate, dedicated person that I don't know if I've ever met. You make me a better person, you make my family better. Your family is amazing. So, for those of you that don't know, Pasquale never met Christina. Never ever. And he was so inspired by her story and by what our foundation is doing that he decided to share his passion with our cause. And he is a world-renowned shoe designer, and he made Christina her own, or in honor of her own unique shoe line, and to support the foundation. And you can actually go see those shoes. I'm wearing a pair right now. They're absolutely beautiful. They're absolutely beautiful, and Christina would just, she would love them. For being the first to show the passion to help start our journey, thank you, dear friend.
This next clip really needs no explanation except to say that Tina is introducing the Inspiration Award. I'll let the clip speak for itself.
Sure, people got Okay. Oh boy. This next award, I'm just going to tell you right now, I'm going to lose it. So just get ready. The next award is the Inspirational Award. And it goes to Adam Levine. You could not be here today, but listen. Not everybody knows. He is a really great person. And he validated our daughter. He encouraged our daughter. And she was so happy. Inspiration Award, and I'm not a good speaker, but to Adam Levine, and thank you for everything he's done. Of him accepting the award. I'm sorry, I'm not good.
Hi guys, this is Adam, and here's my award. Now, I'm sorry I couldn't be there tonight, but I want to thank you for this incredible honor. This isn't really, I feel strange having an award for basically just doing what felt right and acting in the way in which I was raised. But, you know, obviously, you guys know how much I love you and how much I love Christina. So all the things that have happened or transpired, as far as I'm concerned, have been 100% just what I felt was necessary and done out of love, and I believe for all the right reasons. So I guess if this is an award for being a solid friend, so I guess a supportive one as well, then I accept. Thank you guys very, very much. This means so much more than other awards.
And then Bud introduced the last award, which went to The Voice. And one of the producers from The Voice comes up, and she went on talking about Christina. And it isn't in the clip, but she was talking about how Christina was probably late entry because they didn't get to see her until late in the process. And Christina did a practice deal on the stage, and they were wondering, okay, yeah, singing Wrecking Ball, okay, how's she going to handle that high note? And when she came out and did that, they started taking bets among themselves if she was going to be a 4-chair turn. And that lady bet on Christina, and she won.
Okay, for our final award tonight goes to The Voice, which is our Christina Grimmie Foundation Legacy Award. Because of, when we went there in December, just to thank The Voice for doing what they did for Christina and us, we were overwhelmed. Everybody, you know, the band, everybody, Audrey, Chad,
Hair and makeup.
hair, makeup,
People that love the mic say, it doesn't matter who they were.
they swarmed us, and we saw Adam and Blake in the back, and they just, and once we mentioned that we were thinking about a foundation, which we knew nothing about, just starting to ask questions, they were right there on the spot, back in December of last year, saying, well, where do we get it? What can we do? How do we help? And we said, we don't know. So January 3rd started, officially formed the Christina Grimmie Foundation. And even from that point on, they continued to support us. They announced our foundation on the air of a reality show.
Which they don't have.
In the middle of the show, Adam, Carson went out of their way to talk about our foundation. So the very first Christina Grimmie Foundation Legacy Award goes to The Voice, and is going to be accepted by Audrey Morris. We'd like to hear it.
Thank you. I'm kind of speechless. This is an incredible night, and an incredible thing we started. I'm up here on behalf of the entire Voice family. Some of us are sitting here in the front. There are hundreds more that were unable to come, but are part of this family and consider you all and Christina part of our family. I was in the video earlier, and in that video, I was describing what it was like the first time I saw Christina.
After the awards were done, that's when the entertainment started. And the first of the night was Curt Schneider and Sam Suey. The first thing they did was recreate their Streamy tribute, which was really something. I really appreciated that. And then they sang a medley of Christina's songs. And here's those clips now.
Say thank you so much for having us here. But I mean, it's such an honor to be a part of this, and so special to be in a room full of so much love and support. And it does mean the world for us to be here and to create music. I was thinking about you, thinking about me, thinking about us. Are we gonna be? Open my eyes. It was only just a dream. So I traveled back down that road. Will she come back? No one knows. I realized it was only just a dream. I was at the top and now it's like I'm in the basement of a dream. If you've ever loved somebody, put your hands up. If you've ever loved somebody, put your hands up. Now they're gone and you wish that you could give them everything. If you've ever loved somebody, put your hands up. If you've ever loved somebody, put your hands up. Now they're gone and you wish that you could give them everything. I was thinking about you, thinking about me, thinking about us. What we gonna be? I opened my eyes. It was only just me. So I traveled back down that road. Will she come back? No one knows. I realized it was only just a dream. It was only just a dream. There's pain, life hurts. There's 1,000 things you think you don't deserve. All hope is lost when you spend it all, just can't beat the odds. I bet you don't curse, calling out, someone come and find me. I've been waiting my turn. Precious on, now my heart is beating to the sound of my name, and I say, find me. Tell me why all these roads keep leading you right back to me. And I was thinking about you, thinking about me, thinking about us. What we gonna be? Open my eyes and stay with me. 'Cause without you here, I disappear to infinity. Stay with me and don't let go of good times, and let the bad ones know you feel fine. Wear your heart out on your sleeve, 'cause love is all you need. And feel with all your senses. Make sure to let down your defenses. It's just one way to make you see love is all you need. 'Cause every time I'm slipping away from myself, you're the one who moves me like nobody else. 'Cause when I'm down and I'm done, and when I'm coming
After that, Tiffany Alvord sang. And she sang Pour a Little Heaven on Me, and as she explains the song, and it was wonderful too. Tiffany has such a soft, soothing voice, and she's really great. And here's that one.
I'm so grateful to be here today. Christina was a friend, and it's so crazy, obviously, what has happened. And the Christina Grimmie Foundation is such a beautiful tribute to her. And in life, there are trials and sometimes unbearingly hard challenges that we have to go through. And together, we can support each other, be there for each other. And I believe also sometimes we need a higher power, a spiritual healing and strength. And I know the Grimmies have looked to God and have had that spiritual strength with them through all of this. And so this song is called Pour a Little Heaven on Me. And it's for those moments when we need that extra help and that extra strength to get through these tough times.
The last song of the night, Mama Grimmie introduced and explained that she personally asked for this song. She wanted Marcus, Stephen, Johnathan, and Micheal to sing with love. And they did a great job. And she did point out that the keyboard Micheal and everybody else had used that night was one of Christina's keyboards. I don't think it was Lucas, it might have been one of the others, but again, Christina was there in spirit. Watch this.
Okay, so I just want to tell you a little story on this. Won't be long. Got 2 hours. So about a month or so ago, as all this was being planned, I went to Mark and I said, Mark, I have to ask you a favor. What, Mom? I said, it's really on my heart that you and Stephen and Micheal and Johnathan play the last song. Because there's a lot of history, obviously, with my son, my daughter. Christina toured, Johnathan toured with them in Europe. And Stephen, I don't think enough is said about this young man. My daughter. He not only wrote 3 of the songs, he wrote them right Invisible, and he produced the album, but the point is, the passion. God, there's musicians out there. There's people, artists out there. You know about passion? So, I think it was very fitting, and I'm very thankful that they all responded to do with love. I said Micheal.
I don't have anything to say. My heart is like so elated that so many people come out to support such a great cause, and I love Christina with all my heart, and I'm so happy that everybody's here. Thank you so much for attending. She deserves it.
We've all seen her for a very, very long time. She was near and dear to all of our hearts. All of us love her more than anything, and for all the support they gave her. But with all these people in this room, she supported so many people and made them be their best. So all of us want to dedicate this song to Christina Grimmie.
With love
after the last song, that was the end of the program. So everybody was kind of officially dismissed, but some people started falling out and others started going up to the Grimmies and chatting with them and everything. And Debbie and Cooper and I, we did too, because we had something for the Grimmies. Finally caught up with Bud Grimmie and presented them with some books we had put together. I had asked the members of the Team Grimmie Facebook fan page to just write some short paragraphs on how Christina had influenced them, made a difference in their lives, or inspired them. Because if you remember, Christina's goal in life was to get their music out, have it heard, and to inspire people. So I put those together that I received, also with some comments that I've received over the past year and a half from my videos, and put together a 55-page book for the Grimmies. And ran off 3 of them, 1 for each of them, and presented it to them. And I think Bud was a little taken back by everything, and with everything going on, he said, well, I'll have to find somebody responsible around here to take these for me to make sure they don't get lost. Afterwards, Cooper went off to talk to Marcus, because he'd wanted to talk to him and hear a few pictures. They talked and hugged and took a picture together. And Debbie went over and found Mama Grimmie. And Mama Grimmie and Debbie, who are both mothers, started talking mother stuff and everything and back and forth. And in this clip that follows, you can see Tina is so animated and so full of life and gives Debbie a hug and everything. It is just wonderful to watch that. And so we mingled around some more. I talked to Curt Schneider, told him his videos are brilliant, which they are. And then we all kind of filed out, and we drove back to the hotel, which was about then it was about the 45 minutes we should have taken, just sharing our thoughts of the night and with joy in our hearts and everything. And it was really a wonderful evening. And I hope I've been able to share some of what we felt and saw with you. And, let me get back to the books. I will put a link below to those books, a PDF of the book, so you can download it too and read it. A lot of heartwarming stories in there. So again, I hope you've enjoyed this video. I know it's long, but like I did with behind the scenes of Without Him, I wanted you to experience as much as possible and as much as we did. So until next time, this is Scott, signing off. Bye.